I'm E. Christopher Clark, he's Cookie Monster, and you're watching the FiveCast. Story number one for today, or the first story I want to talk about, or I don't know how the heck I'm going to do this, so, Harry Potter, Deathly Hallows. Finally saw it about a week after its release. Saw it in IMAX, big old IMAX that requires that hand gesture, just in case you didn't know. Saw it in IMAX with my wife, Stephanie, with my sister-in-law and her husband, and with Kaylee, our 4-year-old, who would have been heartbroken if we'd gone to see a Harry Potter movie without her. Now, some of you who have seen it are out there saying, what the fuck is wrong with you? Lots. But she would have been heartbroken. And yes, there were several scenes that I sort of cringed having my 4-year-old there with me, just because they were so potentially terrifying. I mean, they were kind of terrifying for me as a 30-year-old. I can't even imagine what was going on through her brain, especially since her brain was being blown by IMAX. You know what I'm saying? So IMAX. That's one of the things that blew my mind about it. It was a fast-moving film. It was a fast-moving film without leaving anything behind. That was the big thing for me in Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows. There were things in there that I didn't expect to make it in. Honestly, there were things in there that in any other Harry Potter movie would have been cut out. Can I point to any specific things? No, because I'm trying to get to 5 stories here in 5 minutes, and also because my brain is shot. I can't remember a damn thing. But the other thing that was really impressive, it's always impressive about the David Yates directed films, is humor sprinkled throughout. Now, it seems to be a particular talent of Yates's to take a bit of humor and put it in there amidst these really tense scenes. One of the most beautiful ones, beautifully funny, was when Harry and Ginny are having a kiss in the kitchen, and George saunters behind them and they don't notice him, and when they finally do notice him, he gives them a kind of a wink and a kind of with a coffee cup in his hand, and he I can't remember what he says, but he says something, and it's a beautifully delivered line. Yates seems to get Fred and George better than any other director in the series, and I'm really, really happy to see that. It also makes me think forward to what's going to happen in the next film, and how Yates, who seems to have an affinity for those characters, is going to handle the death scene. For those of you who know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. For those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, you're like throwing stuff at your screen right now, but that's part of what geeking out is all about. I spoil things for you occasionally without meaning to. No, that's not what it's all about, but sometimes that happens. Dark Horse Comics announced this week that they have some sort of plan for their digital comics, and while it is obvious that they're kind of holding back some of their more popular titles, Buffy was one that I saw cited in the iFanboy article that I linked up over in Geek Force 5. It is obvious that they're holding back some titles, which is a sound strategy. I understand that. It sounds as though they are much more open to the idea of putting their books out there on the web. They're also going to make a concerted effort to, within the first quarter or so of 2011, to put comics out day and date with when they come out on shelves, so that if you want to buy digital, you're not going to be buying with any sort of delay. You could go buy it in the shop on Wednesday. You could buy it on Wednesday from your digital comics app, and I think that is a huge step in the right direction. Robert Kirkman and Image seem to know what they're doing there too. I think Walking Dead was announced that is going to happen day and date. On Wednesday, you can buy either the physical copy or the digital copy, and I think that is the way of the future. That's what I want, because as you can see, I'm in my closet. I'm still in my closet. 7, 8, 9 long boxes worth of comics that I can't get to, that I would love to read again, but I just can't. There's nowhere to put them out in my house, and it just can't happen. So where are Marvel and DC on this, right? I mean, I like those apps a lot. Apple likes those apps a lot. I mean, the Apple likes the Marvel app enough that is one of the things that is highlighted on their iPad page. But I can only get certain things through that app. And it even sounds as though they might be doing kind of a Disney Vault kind of thing, where they'll bring out certain issues and then put them away for 5 or 10 years. It's just a little bit nuts, right? iTunes has the model. You put everything out there that's ever been out there and let people pick and choose. That's what I want from comics, and I hope that it happens soon. After I saw Harry Potter this weekend, I followed that up with another show, a live show. Just love the hand gestures. A live show, kind of IMAX live. I followed up my visit to Harry Potter with a visit to the Players Ring in Portsmouth, New Hampshire, where there is an amazing take on A Christmas Carol going on right now before they actually put up the actual Christmas Carol, which happens later. But this weekend is the final chance to check out Whisper, Pray, Make Room. This is some of the souvenirs I brought home from the show. An excellent sort of one-man show. Sort of one-man show. It's a one-man show. It's not sort of a one-man show. It's an excellent one-man show with some music, with some monologuing, with some... it's set as part of a radio show. The idea is that the lead character here has been doing a radio show for many, many years. Steve the Sledgehammer King. And he's kind of a belligerent talk show host. So you get some call-ins, so you get some interaction with people, you get some monologues and storytelling, and you get some music, and it's a really great show. I encourage you, if you're in the Portsmouth area, to give it a check it out, give it a look. You know what I'm talking about. 2 games on tap for this week on the FiveCast. 1, Castlevania 2, and 2, Fruit Ninja. I like both old and new games, and I think what is coming to me is that I like games, at least with my iPhone games, I like games that are simple and have a lot of replay value. Fruit Ninja I just picked up yesterday. I know I'm late to the party, but Fruit Ninja is stupid and awesome. And you can play it as many times as you want, and there's no way to beat the game, really. It's just about beating your score. I mean, that's the same reason that I love playing the skee-ball game, same reason that I liked Angry Birds to a point, but then eventually Angry Birds was over. That game is on my phone still, but I won't play it that much. So when it comes to phone games, I like games that I can pick up. There's no defined goal except to see if you did better than you did the last time. When it comes to console games, it seems as though I'm digging the ones with a more defined arc. Although that kind of goes back and forth too. I really like Wii Sports Resort as much as I like Mario. Mario has a very defined goal, but Mario has some replay value too. As you can see, Mario is right back. I beat it a while ago, and now I've been trying to beat it without ever seeing Luigi, which is like the final trick. If you can beat it without ever having the game try to tell you how to win, that's the final trick. So, but the thing that I picked up today, and that I've been starting to play a little bit, is Castlevania 2, Simon's Quest, which was my favorite of the series back in the day. And that's been fun. I like a lot of the old games. And why do I like a lot of the old games? Because of this thing, right? This thing, the Wiimote, which is awesome for games like Wii Sports Resort, but not so awesome when I have to hook the nunchuck into the bottom and use the nunchuck to you see what I'm doing? To move things around. I do not like using the nunchuck to move things around. Give me a way to plug in a classic controller, or let me turn it sideways like Mario does. See? Like Mario does. I don't want to use the nunchuck, right? And that's what I fear about some of the games that I am looking forward to for Christmas, possibly, is that a lot of them seem like they use the nunchuck to direct movement, and I'm not into that at all. It's just not natural to sort of have a nunchuck in one hand, controller in the other hand. No. Just turn it this way. You've got enough buttons. Nintendo did it for years with just 2 buttons, right? You don't need more than 2 buttons. Seriously. Unless you're playing Mortal Kombat. So I wanted to close out today's show with something about books. I've always been a monogamist when it comes to book reading. Not always, maybe not always, but I've pretty much been a monogamist for most of my adult life. And lately I've been experimenting, as 30-something-year-old men are apt to do. I've been experimenting with my books. And so right now I'm technically reading all of these, although I haven't started on the debuts. I started over the Thanksgiving holiday reading Bodhipaksa's Living as a River, and those of you who frequent Geek Force 5 know that we just put up an interview with Bodhipaksa about Living as a River, and it's a fabulous book, really helping me as someone who struggles with change and who's struggling with the seasonal changes right now. It's really helping me through a really kind of dark time in my life. So I started reading that. But I haven't read fiction in a really long time. And for a guy who writes fiction, that's a bad thing, right? So Hornby's Juliet Naked, I had to pick it up. And so I started reading this after I started reading Bodhi's book. And so I keep meaning to pick Bodhi's book up again, but this entrances me so much, which is great, but in reality, what book do I need to be reading more right now? Bodhi's book, for my sanity. It was really helping over the Thanksgiving holiday when I was not doing all that well. And then, of course, I was at the library for the school that I work at, and I was thinking about the fact that I've never read any essays by Debus. I'm a big Debus fan. Earlier this week we published something on Debus's story Townies on Geek Force 5. I really wanted to start reading Debus's essays, and I thought that this book, Meditations from a Movable Chair, might be a good place to start. So I picked this up because I didn't know the next time I'd be at the library, and so now I've got 3 books, and I can't be faithful to any of them, and that's disturbing. First world problems to have. I am E. Christopher Clark from GeekForce5.com. This is the FiveCast, and we'll catch you on the flip side. By which I mean next week.